Hey guys, so you can probably tell from the title of this video that this is not your typical Emily beauty video, you know, your scheduled programming or anything. This is obviously something quite different. Before I even jump into it, I just wanted to say that I am not telling you this story or sharing my story with you because I want pity. That's just not the case at all. I don't need your pity or anything. I'm okay. I am recovered. I'm fine. So, you know, you don't need to feel sorry for me, like it's okay. The reason why I'm sharing this video is because I think it could be helpful for some other people out there. It's educational or informative, or just helps them realize the importance of taking care of your body and paying attention to your body as well. So yeah, that's the purpose of this video, and hopefully you can also get to know me a little bit through it as well. So yeah, we're gonna jump into it. So when I was 18, I was a freshman in college. This was 4 years ago. I'm 22 now. I developed a small irritation, like bump on my scalp, right behind my left ear, but in my hair. So not on the bare, like exposed skin that you see there. And it would bother me, and it was, you know, like itchy or sore, and sometimes it would bleed if I touched it, or if I was like brushing my hair and I ran over it with my hairbrush, like it would bleed, and it would be painful, but I never thought anything of it. I honestly thought it was just like a mole or an ingrown hair or even just a pimple or something. I remember one time, like early on when this thing developed on my head, I had my boyfriend look at it, who is not a doctor, is not a professional, but I just said, hey, like, can you check this out? Tell me what it looks like. And he looked at it, it looked fine, like nothing to be like afraid of. And you know, he's not a professional, like I said, so, you know, take it or leave it. But from an amateur, it seemed okay. So fast forward a little bit, this was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I honestly don't remember, and I went to the dermatologist to get something else checked out on my body. I have no idea what it is. I go to the doctor all the time because I have a lot of health issues, so I can't even remember what that was. I went to the dermatologist and I meant to bring it up to her. And I completely forgot. I didn't say anything because that was not the primary reason why I was there at the dermatologist. So I left without saying anything, and you know, I was okay with it. It's like, whatever, I'll just put up with it, and it's not a big deal. So that was maybe 2 or 3 years into the process. Now fast forward again to about a month ago. I went to the dermatologist again because I had something on my foot that I wanted to get checked out, and I brought it up to her like, hey, I have this little spot on my head and I was wondering if you could check it out, let me know what it is. Is it anything I need to be worried about, or, you know, what is it? She looked at it and she said, oh yeah, like this is just like a little irritation, it can develop over time, blah blah blah, looks totally fine, don't worry about it. If you want me to, we can take it off right now, we can shave it off and you'll be good to go. I said, yeah, let's do that because my life isn't better with it on my head. So I decided to let her go through with that. So she numbed me up, she shaved off that little mole, and she cauterized the area, and that was it. I left the dermatologist's office thinking like, okay, I'm fine, like nothing bad is gonna happen, and I'm okay, like I'm all good. And you know, she had assured me like, it's okay, this is completely normal, it's not a big deal, these things sometimes just don't heal, and that's what's happening here. So a couple days later, I get a message on my phone saying, hey Emily, I got your biopsy results back from that spot that we removed off your scalp, and why don't you give me a call back? So immediately right then, I knew that something was wrong, because if a doctor is calling you saying, we got your test results back, but we can't tell you what they are, you know that something's wrong, because otherwise they would just say, you're good, you're clear, like have no fear. So I prepared myself, I knew something was wrong. I gave her a call back, and she said, hey, like I just wanted to let you know that we got the results back from your biopsy the other day, and it turns out that you actually have skin cancer, and it's called squamous cell carcinoma. And she told me that, like, she was so surprised by the results, like completely shocked. She said she even called the lab and said, there's no way that's cancer, there's just no way. It didn't look like cancer, it looked fine. So she said like it was really a shock to her and everyone, and I was a weird case because this type of cancer, which the doctors kind of referred to as squame, is most common in elderly white males who are in the sun a lot. I am none of those things. I am 22, which I was 18 when I like first started developing this. I am Asian and German, so yes, I am white, but I'm not like super white. Or I'm Japanese and German, not just Asian. I'm obviously a female, and I really don't spend that much time out in the sun. Plus, this area was underneath all of my super dark hair. You know, my hair is really light now, but it's been really dark brown for my entire life. You should know that growing up, I was a competitive swimmer, and I spent a lot of my time outside swimming, but I had a swim cap on, and I also was a lifeguard at an outdoor water park for a few years too. So yes, I was exposed to the sun. I was always very good about putting sunscreen on, and not just like SPF 10 or 15, I'm talking like 30 and 50. I've always taken that seriously, especially when I was lifeguarding. That's something that they stress. So I was always aware of that. I was always aware of my skin and taking care of it. And of course, it was shocking to hear that I had skin cancer. I mean, the doctor didn't expect that. I obviously didn't expect that, and it was a scary moment, and when she told me, it just kind of like bounced off of me, like it wasn't really affecting me at all. I was like, I'm okay, like I'll get through it, I'm a tough cookie, and you know, I'm gonna be okay. I mean, of course this is serious, and it's cancer, but I'm fine. So, you know, ultimately, I looked it up on Google, and I watched videos about it, about the procedure that I had to have done, which I had last Wednesday, which I'll get to in a minute. And so I was just doing as much research as I could, and I just really didn't fit into the norm at all. So, and the doctor straight out said, like, we really don't think this was caused by sun damage. So she told me that I had to have surgery, and the procedure that I had was called Mohs Surgery, M-O-H-S, and they basically take off one layer of skin at a time, and they examine it under a microscope while you're still there at the doctor's office. So they take off a layer, you sit down in the waiting room, they examine it, and then they say, okay, you're good, we got all the cancer out, or they say, all right, we still have more, there's more roots in there of the cancer that we gotta get out. So they can take, you know, several layers of skin off, or they can just take one. So between the time that I found out that I had skin cancer and the time that I had surgery, that was about 3 weeks time. And like I kind of mentioned, the first 2 days were, I was fine. Like I didn't really let it affect me. I was okay, and I obviously knew it was serious, but I didn't let it get me down. And then the next couple days, it really started to sink in and hit me pretty hard. I would say like every day for the rest of that time, the first thing that would happen when I'd wake up in the morning is I would just say over and over and over and over again in my head, like on a loop, I have skin cancer, 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 I have skin cancer. And I just, it was stuck in my head. I couldn't get it out. And, you know, anytime that I was just not focused on anything, that I was like driving or just didn't have my mind on something else, that's all I could think about. I mean, understandably so, but, you know, it was affecting me, of course. As a 22-year-old, that's not something that I expected to have to go through. I know that like 1 in 3 people get diagnosed with some form of cancer in the US. And, you know, I wasn't necessarily surprised. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of health issues, both currently and in the past. So it wasn't like super shocking, but it was just surprising that it happened to me so young. And of course, throughout this whole time, I'm trying to keep perspective, like it's just a little spot, it's just a little bit of skin cancer, it's not melanoma. It's unlikely to spread, but it can spread if it's been there for a long time, which mine had been there since I had neglected it. It had been there for like 4 years. There are people in my life who I'm very close to that have had to go through much more serious forms of cancer and go through very serious forms of treatment as well, like chemotherapy and radiation, and have lost their hair. And I was pretty certain that that wasn't going to happen to me, and it didn't. So I feel very lucky and thankful, because that, I can't even imagine how emotionally straining that would be. Okay, so let's go to last week. I had the surgery last Wednesday, and thankfully they only had to take off 1 layer of skin, which was a huge relief because I could actually feel everything that was happening. It was very painful. I was not expecting that. They only do local anesthetic. They don't like put you to sleep. And they had to use twice as much numbing on me compared to like the normal dosage for the normal person. My nerves are really close to the surface of my skin. I have very sensitive skin, and it was painful and I could feel everything, and I was just so thankful that my mom was there to hold my hand for me, because, you know, I was crying. It was a lot more dramatic than I thought it would be. I thought it would be tougher than that, but truly I wasn't. I felt, you know, kind of like at a loss. Like, how is this happening to me? And I wish I wasn't in this position, you know? So they had removed one layer of skin, and then I was sent to the waiting room. They processed the sample, and thankfully it came back that they had gotten everything out. So all I had left to do was get stitched up. So they had taken about 1.3 centimeters of my skin off of my scalp, and it was like a circle, so like the size of a penny, you can kind of think. So anyway, you can't just close up a circle because the edges will buckle at the ends, you know? So they had to cut like an eyelet shape out of my scalp, so they had to cut away quite a bit more skin, and that left me with a scar that is 2 inches across, and they had to cut quite a bit of my hair off. I have a nice little bald spot going on that's like, I don't know, can you see that? Like about this big. They actually had to cut quite a bit more off my hair, but since they actually ended up cutting that skin out, you know, that spot wasn't there and they just closed it all up. So it's really not that bad, and I have so much hair to cover it. Like you would never know. You can kind of see it when I put my hair up, but you know, it's just hair and it'll grow out, and I didn't have to lose everything, you know, I'm okay. But I honestly thought I was gonna throw up. It was an emotional process because they have these like towels over your head, and I could hear them cutting and you know, like shaving my hair, and I just felt very claustrophobic and kind of helpless, but also thankful, of course, at the same time. So that was the surgery. I survived. Like, it's okay. It sucked, but I did it, and the good news is that when I left there, I was cancer-free, which is really amazing. Modern medicine is truly, truly incredible, and I'm so thankful for the doctors out there who treat all of my conditions, because I got a lot of them, let me just say that. It has been a week now, like I said, and today I actually got my stitches out. So honestly, it feels amazing getting those out. Like, it's so much less tight, so much less itchy, and it just feels so much better. Like I got 10 pounds lifted off my head. So I feel really good now after getting my stitches out. So the moral of the story is that I just wanted to reiterate to you guys, anyone who's watching this video, whether you have had cancer in the past or you are just like a normal person who hasn't, you know, had to deal with any serious health issues, I just wanted to say how extremely important it is to be aware of your body and what's going on, because when something abnormal pops up, that's your body trying to tell you something, that, you know, something's not right, and that, hey, I want you to look at that. Your body's truly an incredible thing, and it has this way of letting you know when things are going wrong, and it can only do so much. So make sure you're listening to those signals and those signs, because I just felt so ignorant and stupid for letting this go on for 4 years. Like, this could have been so much less of an ordeal, and it might not have even developed into cancer if I had just nipped it in the butt and taken care of it way back when I was 18. Instead, now I have a bald spot and a big 2-inch scar on my scalp, and I had to go through quite a bit of emotional trauma. You know, no one wants to hear that they have cancer, even though like what I had wasn't like as serious as so many other forms of cancer out there. Like, it's a scary word, it's a scary disease. No one wants to hear that. And it was tough. In addition to that, like for skin cancer in particular, it's so important that you're wearing sunscreen every day on any exposed skin and doing what you can to prevent not just like, you know, aging and everything, but more serious diseases like skin cancer. So make sure you're wearing something that's SPF 30 or higher, and make sure your sunscreen bottle actually says broad spectrum, because that protects you from both UVA and UVB rays. If it doesn't say broad spectrum, then it's not protecting you from UVA rays. So for my last sort of like closing note to this video, and I'm sure there's a lot more that I want to say that I'm forgetting, but bad things happen to good people all the time. And if you're going through something right now, if you're sick, or if you lost a family member, if you got in a really bad accident, or any of the other like gazillions of things that could happen to you, because this world is a crazy place and crazy things happen every day, you this isn't happening to you because you deserve it. That's not it at all. And also I just want to say that make sure that you utilize the support of your friends and family, because you can really get through so much with other people's support. And that's why I'm not being quiet about my story. I want to share it with people so they know to speak up about things. They know to talk to other people about it. I didn't even tell my parents about this spot until after I got the little mole biopsied off my head. And if I had said something before that, maybe they would have said, Emily, you definitely need to get that checked out, you know, and stop this whole thing a while ago. So I just wanted to encourage you to speak up and to pay attention to your body, and also to support other people. You never know what kind of terrible and horrible stuff that people are going through in their lives. People that look perfect on the outside. There's, you know, everyone has problems and everyone deals with things on a daily basis. And so this is also just about having respect for other people and knowing that everyone is struggling in some way, and that if you can be there for them in any way, shape, or form, then you should try and do that. And people will do the same for you. So anyway, I think that's everything that I wanted to say. I hope this story isn't like depressing for you. I really hope it just kind of tells you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because like I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't have cancer anymore. I have to be careful, but so does everyone, you know, stuff happens every day, and it's just important to be thankful for what we do have, you know, and now I don't have skin cancer, and I'm happy to have my health back. So like I said, I hope you found this helpful and enlightening in some shape or form, and I hope you take care of your body. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you give your loved ones a hug. All right, I'll talk to you later.